What's up, everybody? NFX here with another collection of ZGE Visualizer Effects. This is a pretty small collection, so I think it should be a relatively quick video, but these are some extras that have been added to my collection. Links for things will be in the description. And with this collection, the total number of effects is at 106. So let's just jump right in and take a quick look at the effects. The first one you're going to see here on the screen is one called Biophilic Dusk Drift. And this is one that's just a slow moving kind of cloud. There's nothing particularly exceptional about it. It's meant to be super slow moving and act as a background that just slowly shifts over time. You can increase the speed a bit, and it's probably the motion might be a little bit more noticeable to you, but it's not meant to do anything other than just slowly evolve in the background. Many of the effects that I do are things that I want for a specific reason, so I create them, and I figure I might as well show them to you. So that's one of these. There are various palettes you can use. These are all meant to be really organic looking, kind of in a way, like just slow and relaxing type thing. This particular effect is. Some of the effects you're going to see are not done by me, and I'll hopefully remember to point those out. The next one on the list is this camouflage pattern. And you can see it's just a basic camouflage pattern. You can do classic style or digital. You can do various controls with it. For example, you could have it moving and set the direction of the motion if you wanted to. You can also have different palettes. So you can have woodland, urban, snow, and desert. And you can also make it so that it looks like it's made out of a fabric or not. That's pretty much it. It's camouflage pattern. The next one on the list is one called bullet hole. And as you can see here on my logo here, there's what looks like a bullet hole in it. And I can just turn it off or back on. It kind of warps the image below to try to make it look as though a bullet hole's there. And there are some settings like the edge size and the scatter and the jaggedness and the size of it and other things. So you can adjust it to your needs, but that's bullet hole. This next one here is not one that I did. I just converted it. It's done by a person, and as usual, I'm going to murder the name, Vinicius Graciano Santos, something like that. I'm sorry if I know I messed that up. But this is basically just a evolving landscape, as you can see, with a moon in the background and some clouds. And it just basically does a repeating travel over the landscape. This next one is called Ocean, and this is done by an author named FEMA, and it's pretty cool. There are some controls for this one, such as the height of the clouds. You can set the ocean to be, more or less wavy, I guess you could say. And then there's things like the camera speed, the camera shake, whether the camera rolls around or not, etc. And you could also do something like the height of the sun. So you could actually have it where the sun goes down, something like that. And this one's called Ocean. This next one is an update to one I showed you previously called Platter Rotation. And let me just get a couple of copies of of the graphic there, and it basically rotates an object mapped as though it were to a round platter. The change here is in the flip map. Before there was only two modes. There was this mode where the top of your object is to the outside, and then there was the flipped where the top of your object is to the inside. But there's a new mode here where it rotates the object. So it does this. The object will maintain its up and down perspective and just rotate around, kind of like if it was on a Ferris wheel or something like that. So it's just a new option. But other than that, it's the same as before. The next one I want to show you is called Point Ball, and it's just like a roughly a sphere shape that's being orbited by other spheres. If I zoom in, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about a little bit more clearly. And then this has various settings for like the size of those inner spheres, how many there are. You can set the color of them. You can blur them out a little bit, like so. And you could do things like set the direction of the light on the sphere, so it can come from some other direction other than the upper right. You can also take an image source and tell it to put the image source inside the middle of the rotating balls there. So you can see how some of them in the foreground are in front of the image, and some of them in the background are behind the image. So you can do that. That's called point ball. This next one is done by a user named Sandeep Panyar. I think that's the correct pronunciation for me. And this one, you can do things like the size and position, obviously. And then there's a speed indicator where you can actually have it set where you want the speed to go. This could be automated if you wanted it to be using a peak controller or something like that. If you had a background you wanted behind it, like let me just put in a fog machine back there. You could set the background mode to feedback here. And let me turn the image off there. And you can see how it'll put the background there. Or you could set it to default and it'll put its own background. This one also has some themes that you can set: electric blue, amber luxury, and graphite minimal. And this is just what you see. It's a speedometer. This next one is called Realistic Steam, and it's basically trying to be what the name of it is, realistic steam. Let me turn off the fog machine so you can see this is the effect. And you have control over the effect, such as the size of it, the width of the steam column, the height of the steam. You could give it some sway and some speed. And this might be used, for example, you might want to take a picture, another picture, let's say, and put this on top of it. So I'll just briefly move this steam. Let's just say you wanted to look like this part of the building here was a steam vent or something, right? Just as a simple example, you could move it to the location you want, set your various parameters, and then the color and whatever you need, and then have it appear as though there was some moving steam within the picture. You could apply this to anything where you might need that sort of an effect. One of the effects that I've done just for fun is I've actually added this to the bullet hole one where so it looked like the bullet holes there and little steams coming out of the bullet hole. Uh, but yeah, so this can be used in many different ways. This next one's done by Nimitz. He's got quite a few in the default ZGE effects, as well as in some of the previous ones that I have released. Were done by Nimitz. Really good quality. This again is kind of just a slowly moving landscape, similar to the Nightfall one you saw earlier. This is like if it's on a red planet, although you can control the color, and then you can also zoom out or zoom in a little bit to get the different effect that you may want. This one here is called Waterfall. I'm sorry, this one here is called Tunnel Motion. Does not look good with that particular graphic in it. Here we have a different graphic. But you could see how it's basically moving you through a tunnel, and there's curved twists and turns in the tunnel. You can control how often the turns occur. You can make it just go straight. You can add some turns and how sharp they are and things like that. You can also do something called the road width. If you look at the bottom, right now the road width is at 0. And if you look, it's just a circular tube essentially, or tunnel. But if you increase the road width, you could see it flattens out and becomes flat on the bottom, and kind of gives you the look of a road inside of a tunnel. And one of the things you can do with this is, let me turn that off for a minute and insert a couple of layers here. I just want to give you a quick demonstration of something you could potentially do. I could add, for example, a couple of images. Let me turn that on, and I'm going to add an image here. And the image here is going to be just the, this is the image that was mapped earlier, but I'm going to add something to this on another image. Or actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one of my previous ones. It's called UI window. And in the UI window, we're going to just make it wide like this. Maybe lower the height a bit. We'll move it down like so. And this is not the effect I'm wanting to show you, but I want to show you how you can take this, and we'll turn the saturation and lightness to make this more dark, kind of like if it's this is going to try to represent the road. So you see I have these two things overlaid on each other. Then I'm going to send these to a buffer, and then I'm going to turn on the tunnel again, and I'm going to tell it to use that buffer. And you could see how it's using it, but what we want to do is rotate it such that the road is in the right orientation. And then I can take and either lower the width of the road here, and now you can see how it looks like it's a road going through the tunnel. You could also darken the far side of the tunnel or lighten it, and change the move speed so it can go fast, slow. It could even go in the other direction if you wanted it to. And the last one is one called Waterfall Lines, which I actually had released already in a previous collection, and it was demoed in a previous video. But this one, one of the things that I added, this just has an update to it. One of the things that I updated was, because I did use this in some of my own videos or whatever as rain, and you could see you can easily make something that kind of looks like rain, right? But what I wanted to do was give the rain an angle. So I had to add a rotation parameter, and now it can be rotated in 360 degrees, but you can see now you can actually make it look a little more like rain. And this can be overlaid on something to make it look like rain over something, or if you have a background, you can also have a background on there. So you can have a background and an image source in the middle of the rain. And that's the last one I have. So you can see it's just a few in this collection, but check the links below. There's an installer. If you download the installer, it's for Windows. It will install everything in the appropriate location for you, and it will update any of the effects you may already have if you've installed it previously. There is also a zip file link, which if you want to manually install it, just open the zip file. There's a README inside, and that'll tell you how to find the correct location. If you follow the directions or use the installer, it will put it in your user data folder location, which means you'll be able to see these in the next version of FL Studio. So if you install them into where your default effects are located, what'll happen is when you go and upgrade to, let's say, FL Studio 26 or 27 or 28, whatever, after each major update, you'll lose access to them because they'll be in the version, they'll be specific to the version. But if you use the installer or follow the directions in the zip file, there's a README inside, you'll have no problem using them into the future. And as usual, I hope you guys enjoy these. I hope you find some use for them. And I would honestly appreciate it if you just leave me a little comment or a thumbs up or something, just to let me know you guys are seeing this and appreciating it. It helps me motivate me to keep on going with it. So thank you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.